let's talk about happenings. It looks like there's some bit of controversy in the Nigerian Women Premier League because the Nigerian Football Federation yesterday confirmed the suspension of 2 match officials involved in the ongoing Nigerian Women Football League Championship in Calabar, Cross River State. The affected officials are referee Amamong Idongesit Anthony from Akwa Ibom and assistant referee Blessing Nwfl Rivers, and both have been withdrawn from further participation in the Nigerian Women Football League Championship. Mike, I mean, this is not the kind of news we want to hear at all.
Yes, for me, but I think it's also a thumbs up to the Nigerian Women Football League organizers. They don't want to take anything to chances. That match that took place at the UGS Stadium in Calabar, it was marred by some unprofessional refereeing decision by the center ref and some other things which they were accused or alleged of to have committed, very unprofessional. And for the Nigerian Women Football League and NFF, they made it very clear. I don't want to, condone such a misconduct and unprofessionalism, because for our game to develop, referees must be on their toes to ensure that at least they help to improve the level of the league, because a center ref officials can either make or mar a game. So it's very, very key. So, and that is why they were suspended. And they've been ordered to actually vacate the refereeing capacity. So they are not leaving any stone unturned this time around. They've actually started from what we saw last season, where about 16 to 17 refs were suspended in the Nigerian Premier Football League because of unprofessional conduct out there. So for me, I think it's a thumbs up to the league body. And for other refereeing that will be hoping to toe that lines of unprofessionalism, I think this one is going to serve as a note of warning to them.
When we'll come back later this evening, of course, we'll hear from a referee who will join us live to take us through some of the matters involving Nigeria referees, especially this particular one that is not very palatable in the ears of many followers of Nigerian football. But let's move away from that now and let's talk about other interesting matters in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Remo Stars have appointed a new, the assistant manager to replace Daniel Ogunmodede, who is now in the camp of the Super Eagles, as assistant coach to Austin Cicero Iguavon, who, of course, will be part of the two-legged encounter between Benin Republic and Rwanda. So, Remo Stars, they are very fast. They have done the replacement, at least for this weekend game, subject to when the man will come back.
Definitely, and this is more like a more organized team. These things happen. The reason for appointing an assistant coach is that whenever a situation arises for such an assistant coach to step in, such coach would do it seamlessly, because he or she has been part and parcel of the team. I understand the philosophy, the pattern of the head coach, and so for me, I think it's a very simple one. Hence, Gumodede has left for international duty with the Super Eagles, and I think he's going to be on the touchline to ensure that at least he's able to carry his team along, pending on when Ogumodede will come back from international duty, which for me I think is a nice one.
It is a nice one, and of course let's move over now and let's talk about what is happening in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Where Nigerian Premier Football League side Akwa United has declared one of its star players, Samuel Ganda, wanted. According to the latest from the club media, Mfon Patrick, the player refused to return to training with his teammates in the last 2 months. He further stated that Ganda still has a valid contract with the Promise Keepers until 2025. Ganda joined the Europe-based club last summer, and I'm just wondering, if you want to leave a club, why not come out openly? If you have a contract with the club, maybe for 3 years, terminate the terms of the contract and say, okay, I want to, if you are sure. But it looks like the players are not even sure of, and maybe that's why they are indulging in AWO.
I think for me, it's more like trying to hold on to 2 things at a time, because some of them who elope to maybe the neighboring country to seek for a greener pasture, sometimes they are afraid that if they leave and get there, they might not succeed. So they are still holding 2 grounds, where they come back and they will still be, part and parcel of the team, which for me it is very, very unprofessional. You still have a running contract with a certain club. courtesy demand or professionalism demand that you sit back with the, the team, the management, talk to them. This is my next plan of action. I've been with you guys and I've served you very well. I love this club, but at least I need to take a step, to further my career. I want to go for a trial, possibly to Europe or any other African country. And for me, I just plead to take, to terminate this contract for the mutual benefit of both of us. And the management, they will agree because you've served the team, meritoriously over the years. I mean, there's no team that wouldn't want their team to leave and their player to leave for Europe, because doing so, it would be an open door for them to even make gain, because if any European club come to buy you, they are going to pay in dollars.
True.
And this is how some of the clubs get to get profit, get to make themselves free. So it's very simple. There's no need of living incognito without informing the official, and make it look as though they are worried, because the police might come after them to demand for such player, and they will be right. So it is against the rule of law. And presently, he is in the care of the team. Whatever happens to the player, the team must be held responsible. So for me, I think it's very unprofessional for some of our players out there. Though sometimes it's out of fear that some of these players do this thing, because you've seen it in the Nigerian Premier Football League that a season will just finish, and you see a football club, a professional football club, laying off about 12 players, 13 players, 20 players at a blow, which for me, it is not okay. So sometimes some of these players might be afraid, hence their stay in the team is not regular. They are not being featured regularly. So there is this, apprehension within them that they are not part and parcel of the first team squad. So therefore, they may be laid off any point in time. So that is why but then it's still very, very unprofessional. Two wrongs, they say, cannot make it right.
Well, let's see. And in the coming days, we'll get to see how far. Mike, have you heard about the result of the friendly game played yesterday at the document and Messi Makassar between Rivers United and Eyimba?
I tried to keep up to speed with that result, but it wasn't official. What I'm seeing in some clickbait site is not something that will come and talk here, because it's not reliable. And
of course, we'll get to see how far, maybe later in the show, about Rivers United. I mean, since we're still talking about the league, it looks like nothing. We haven't had any concrete preparation in terms of Finidi George. Yes, no doubt. But it looks like evidently they have been shredded. Activities of Rivers United shredded in secrecy. But as a club, a renowned club like Rivers United, I mean, there should be pump and pageantry in the city that they want to kickstart. But it looks like they will continue with what they are known for, and carefully they're just going about activities silently.
Yeah, I think since the unveiling of Finidi George, which brought about, so many, noise and excitement in the air, we haven't had any other activities from the camp of Rivers United. Just like you said, it is their tradition. They always tried the activities in secrecy. It's more like running a, fraternity group where most time they don't want to disclose their secret out there, which for me it is not right. This is a professional club, a state-owned club, and the people pay their tax here. It is a taxpayers' money that is being used to run the club, so the people deserve to know what is happening in the camp of the Rivers United, because their money is in, and where your treasure is, so there your heart is. The heart of Rivers is always panting to hear, to know what is happening in the camp of Rivers United, but then it looks as though the activities of Rivers United over the years is also, concealed in secrecies, which for me I think is not good.
Well, let's keep our finger crossed. In the coming days, we'll get to bring you more of personalities that will be coming to look at the league in different, perspectives. So let's just wait and see. The focus this week is on the AFCON qualifiers. It's international break, and Nigeria knows that they need to do everything possible to get on in a good start. Super Eagles camp formally resumed yesterday, and we saw the coach also taking it easy. Super Eagles captain William Trosekong, Atlanta forward Ademola Lookman, and England-based quartet of Ola Aina, Semi Ajayi, Taiwo Awoniyi, and Wilfred Ndidi are among the early arrivals in the camp for this 2025 AFCON qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda. If you have the players so far named, if you have bulk of players, in fact, we heard that as at yesterday evening, 11 players have arrived, making it a good start for them. The coach also had time to really express his appreciation to them and hope that they can gel together. So a lot of expectations today. NDD, Olisanda, these ones are early arrivals, and some of them to be expected today are also there. But let's talk about the guys that have arrived at the camp and what you think Coach Finidi George, did I say Coach George, Guavon should be doing now with those set of players. And what does even when you arrive early, what should the coach be doing? When players 5, 3, or 4, like yesterday, now he has 11 this morning, so they should start training. What kind of training that should be adopted now?
It's about a light work training and not going rigorous, because don't forget, if you go on rigorous training, you might also affect these players. Don't forget, most of these players took part in the weekend games for their different club sides. So it's about light work. It's about trying to unveil to them, this is what you intend to, and this is how you intend to play your pattern. You don't wait until all the players are going before you start additional to your instruction. It's about light training. Be very flexible with the players. And of course, I saw most of the players and the officials. There seems to be these positive feelings among the camp of Super Eagles. Just listen to, saw rather Victor Boniface breeze into, the camp yesterday, the likes of Lukman Ademola. I saw a little bit of maybe more togetherness, that love, and they are brimming with confidence. I tell you, if there's anything to go by, looking at what we see in the camp, or looking at what I just saw in the camp over the last 5 hours, I tell you, Super Eagles will likely dismantle Benin Republic.
But I'm wondering why Okoye was not invited for this particular encounter.
Maduka Okoye was invited.
Okay, was invited.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 3 goalkeepers in Nwfl. We have Amas Obasoji, from Bend Insurance, and Maduka Okoye. Yeah. So let's get to see how far they can go. And of course, we see expecting the likes of Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, Fulham duo of Kevin Bassey, and Alex Iwobi, not forgetting Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Maduka Okoye, Rafael Onyedika, and Kelechi Iheanacho, Ala Hassan Yusuf, Abdullahi. I mean, these are the club of players that plays the AFCON and go to the finals. So I'm just wondering that, why is it difficult for them to gel and get us and win games for us? I'm just wondering what can be done by Coach Ego. I want to blame these ones.
A good coach in the world, give a good coach this crop of player. I tell you, such coach will.
So Pesero was a good coach.
Somehow, because getting to the final of the African Cup of Nations is not an easy. It's just that he has no positive pattern of play. That is just the only. It was just basically individual brilliance that got us to the final. In terms of his coaching skills and tactical input, for me, I think in the ratio of 10, I'll give him 2%. He was below par for me.
Maybe he was defensively minded.
Which is not what obtainable right now in the modern football. When
you are a friend to Jose Mourinho, what else do you expect? You get to see some of those things,
And that is why it looks as though the special one is running out of ideas right now. He's being sacked from here and there, from Tottenham, sacked to Roma, sacked. Now he's at Galatasaray. So for me, I think defensive pattern of play no longer holds sway in terms of modern football.
Well, let's get to see how far. It is an international break and a lot of expectation for you. Mike, it looks like Guavon himself knows the task ahead, and so he has started to be humble to invite 2 indigenous assistants in the person of Fidelis Idechukwu, and when the news broke yesterday, a lot of reaction already, and then Daniel Ogunmodede. He feels that these are the 2 best coaches in Nigeria stands now, no doubt about it.
Definitely. If you take a look at the history or the track record of Daniel Ogunmodede, he's a known name here in the Nigerian Premier Football League. He's done wonders for different clubs right here in the top Nigerian flights. And for Fidelis Idechukwu, it's no longer news that he won the last league with the Enugu Rangers. Not just winning the league, it's about the way he went about it. Because starting the season 2023 to 2024, nobody even reckoned Enugu Rangers to be in the mix of those that is going to contend for the title. But he did that seamlessly. Even at the still few games to go, he has already won the league. So for me, I think these are the best coaches as it is right now. So for Austin Guavon, going for home-based coaches, I think he's just trying to make a point out there to the world and to the NFF that if they could collaborate and deliver on the mandate, it's very simple. Nigerians will fall in love with them, and NFF will have no option that to give him the job permanently. Yeah,
and that's the area I'm going to. That's the area I'm going to. You see, he's based in Belgium, and if you look at the way, is it Belgium? Okay, I'll get that maybe later on the show, but. Look at the way he has gone about. We saw Guavon played one of the best football in the 2021 AFCON, when we lost and we were supposed to qualify for the World Cup again, we lost. And that was when the pain of Nigeria said, we don't want to have anything doing with Eguavon again in the national team, you know. But we saw the way the Super Eagles played.
Yeah.
They defeated Egypt, but we had 9 points in the group and qualified seamlessly without any iota of fear. And then until we got to the round of 16, was the quarterfinals when we were at class by Tunisia because of that long goal. But look at the blend, and another person will be asking, will be bothered. Eguavon is a technical manager. We have Fidelis Ilechukwu, another technical manager. We have Remo Stars Gunmodode, another technical manager. Why not go for other coaches who should have helped you in different areas? Why go for outdoor coaches who are known as technical managers in the different clubs? So I'm just thinking, why that technicality instead of getting, you know, you have different areas of coaching where you could have get them. This one would be for this one, would be for this. But he went for full-fledged coaches that are also technically minded like him.
And that is to tell you the kind of football that we should be expecting from the Nigerian Super Eagles, because technically minded, a player, rather a coach, must be all-rounder.
Agree.
He must be all-rounder, and you can't just go and bring a backroom staff that maybe is just, good advisor, good physio, to come and join you while you are heading for one of the, the difficult job in the country out there. So for me, I think I'd rather put my faith on what I believe will work for me than for going for somebody just because I want to complement, the other areas. No, so for me, I think Austin Eguavon, we've seen the kind of, tactics or the kind of football, we should expect of him in the past. Just like you mentioned, Nigerians, the issue is that we are not patient. If Austin Eguavon have been given time in his last appointment, by now, Super Eagles should have been one of the most formidable teams across the globe because of the kind philosophy and pattern of play that he comes with. So I think for me, appointing technical-minded players, coaches to be his backroom staff clearly tells you that he wants an attacking football. He wants a holistic kind of football where he will be totally in charge of everything as regard to do with the training regiment of the players and passing the idea, because somebody that has a different idea together might come and may try to influence you, and by so doing you veer off your technical finesse out there. So for me, that is not an issue. It's about them putting their acts together and doing the needful, which is giving us 3 points and playing a convincing football.
Convincing football. And especially when we're about facing Genetro. Genetro is giving us problem. He's making it look like he's undefeatable. And I mean, bashing him strongly in Uyo would be a very lovely one to erase the pain of the World Cup qualifiers.
I do not want to go with that line of thought that Genetro, is a thorn in our flesh. It's about
the players delivering and the tactics of the coach.
It's about the tactics of the coach, because we have brilliant players in the national team out there. Just like Genetro said a few weeks ago, that Lukman Ademola is technically better than Victor Osimhen. For a coach to say that kind of thing, if you take a critical analysis to what he just said, absolutely true. Correct. He said that Lukman can play in the right wing. He can play in the left wing. He can even play as a supporting striker. So I think this is a coach that sees the quality and the strength of a player. But in Finidi George era, we saw him using the same formation. The first formation, it didn't work in the first game. It didn't work in the second game. You are still adopting the same formation. So for me, I think it is about the coach and not about the players. I tell you, if we give a good coach a good chance to tinker this team around, the Super Eagles will be one of the feared teams in the world, not just here in Africa.
All right, Mike, that will be all this morning. Many thanks. When we come back later this evening, we'll have a lot to talk about club football. We are Manchester United. They're talking tough ahead of, at the backdrop of what we saw over the weekend when they lost to Liverpool. We'll talk about all that and a lot. One man is now the new captain of Germany. I will get to talk about Joshua Kimmich later on the show. Many thanks to you, Mike, for being part of the conversation here this morning.
Always a pleasure.
Of course, it is the birthday edition, and I thank God so much for what God has done in my life. Lifting me up to this level. It's nothing. It doesn't come easy. Hard work, perseverance, resilience has been the qualities that has taken me this far. And many thanks to the brand for pushing us to this level and giving us the platform, to so high. Ekpo Temple is my name. It's the birthday edition. Happy birthday to me, and we'll continue to enjoy and celebrate together. This is Atlantic Television.